Howdy, folks. My name is Effing Controller, and it has been quite some time since I've said that. Maybe quite some time since you've heard that, although as I'm saying that, I'm realizing that I start all of my videos with that, and they're readily available on YouTube.com, and you can watch them at any point. So you may have just heard me say that in another video. But in any case, I haven't created anything on this fine website in quite some time, and I'd like to talk about that. I'd like to talk about why and where I've been and what I've been up to, and what I have going on and what the future has in store for this little online enterprise. And I do want to kind of rewind though and talk about when I kind of stopped uploading videos, which was around August or so. And around that time, I, you know, I really don't like the term nervous breakdown, but I don't feel like it's super descriptive. By the way, this is going to be kind of a mental health thing. So if you're not in a headspace to listen to that, if you don't give a shit, if you just don't feel like you're ready to listen to me talk about my brain stuff, then don't. You can stop watching, but or listening. But I think it's something that I need to do. And if you want to listen to what's been going on, then by all means get comfy and pour yourself a nice ginger tea, perhaps some other beverage, a kombucha, and settle in and listen to the tale of Effing Controller's decline into madness. No, not quite. That's melodramatic. But, and I also, again, I feel like the term nervous breakdown is kind of melodramatic. It doesn't really describe what happened to me. I guess I should describe the circumstances of what was going on in my life around that time. I was working in a job that I have to be kind of sparse on details, but just in general, it was a lot of work, a lot of really difficult technical work, but also emotional work, doing a lot of work for other people who didn't give a shit but needed to, and like if they didn't, it would have consequences. So my feeling was like, I have to do this because if they don't do it, nobody does it. There's going to be a bigger problem, so I'm going to step in and do it. That's kind of the gist of it. That's a situation that maybe once in a while, is okay, but day to day, week to week, month to month, that is really draining. And especially if you have confines within which you can only do that. It was a really difficult situation professionally for me and mentally. I was doing a lot of work and not really taking very good care of myself. I was well, okay. I'll put it like this, and I'm hesitant to talk about the specifics of my job, but it is in law enforcement. I'm not a cop, but it was a situation where I was working in a law enforcement setting, for lack of a better term, and there's this concept. There's this book, actually, I should start with that, called Emotional Survival for Law Enforcement. It's by Dr. Kevin Gilmartin, who wrote this book, and I think literally everyone who has read it in law enforcement is like, oh shit, this is absolutely right. And as I read it, I had that exact same feeling. But the idea, though, is that the nature of that type of work, and it doesn't, I feel like it's not necessarily restricted to law enforcement. I feel like it's any job where you have to maintain a high level of hypervigilance and attention, and I mean, just a stressful job, maybe even. You are going to have this experience that he describes as the hypervigilance emotional roller coaster. I think that's how he describes it. It's a roller coaster in any event. It's not a fun one though. What happens is that you go to work, you have your 8 or 10 or 12-hour shift. You go and you're on. Like you're just there's a line in the book where a cop says when you're on, the reds are redder and the blues are bluer. Everything's very vivid and you're engaged and you're just in. And then as soon as you get home, you're just nothing. You're a potato. Like you have nothing left to give. Your body is actually in a physical state of recovery. It's not an abstract thing. It's something that's observed and known that when you are in that kind of a setting, when you're in a stressful situation like that, day in, day out in particular, your body develops a really it develops this response to cope with that being on feeling. Like you have an on setting and then you have an off setting, and as a result of that, you kind of lose track of yourself in a lot of ways. You lose track of friendships, your hobbies, relationships, your health, all kinds of things. And that's what was happening to me. And it's in varying degrees happened to me throughout my career. I've been working in and around law enforcement. Again, I don't want to talk in specifics, but as a civilian, not as a cop or anything, for a number of years. And it's something that I've observed in myself and in coworkers, where it's like there's just too much investment, which is another issue. But there's just this sense of like pressure to be in this state while you're at work, and then when you get home, you can't be the person that I think you expect yourself to be, and a lot of other people expect you to be. So that's kind of what happened. I think it just started to wear me out after several months of doing that, and I just kind of fell apart. I don't really have like a specific moment that I can point to with you guys that I can say, yep, that's. I mean, I guess maybe not uploading videos. That may be the moment when I could say, yeah, that's when I kind of started to really. Again, it's something where that term breakdown, I guess, kind of doesn't really capture it. And maybe I'm misusing it. Maybe I think that that's generally a term that's frowned upon in terms of professional mental health. But for me, like, I was not right. I guess I'll just leave it like that. I was not functioning well. And I just went on like that for months. I was just unhappy, unfulfilled person that would just come home, and I would watch, like, I was still watching YouTube and streams and things like that, but I wasn't gaming. Like, I wasn't playing games. I was barely getting involved in hobbies that I've enjoyed before, like cooking. Like, taking care of myself was just about all I could muster, which I guess is, that's the final line, is when it becomes a really true dysfunction. But again, those other things that we're talking about are ways to take care of yourself. It's not like I'm talking about like the most basic kinds of level of care of like, I'm eating, I'm clean, things like that. I was still able to do things like that, but my social fulfillment, my professional attainment certainly was not where it should be. But after a while, I just got sick of being miserable. I just was sick of being in this state of like, I'm just unhappy around people and unhappy with myself. I'm unhappy alone. I'm unhappy with, in social settings, and I'm just not a great person to be around. And with a lot of help, with a lot of urging from my wife and some encouragement from some other folks, I finally reached out and I started going to therapy, which is a big step for me, because I've lived with depression basically for my entire adult life. I don't talk about it, obviously, because this might be the first time you've ever heard anything about it, unless you are on my Discord, which I've used to talk about some of the stuff that's been going on a little bit. But it's something where I just have developed my own personal coping mechanisms, which have become increasingly less successful over the years, especially in the face of this job that was just really too tough for me. And I've never really done anything to get help about it. Like, I've had friends who I can talk to, my wife certainly, but it's never been something where I've gone out and like taken a specific, like, gone out and really dealt with it. And I finally did, and it has been getting better ever since. I've been feeling better. This has been about March that I started. I've actually kind of fallen off the wagon with it just because my therapist moved out of town, so I should get back into it. I really do need to. I think that's my next step. I have a couple of things I want to do personally as goals with regards to that kind of stuff, but that's one of them. But yeah, I mean, he set me up with some really good, just the whole concept for what we were doing was just like giving me homework for things that I need to do to kind of restore myself as the person that I used to be, or think I used to be, or at least just make me a happier person. Going out and like one of the things which really surprised me but was incredibly effective was, like he said, one of your things is like, you're so one of my problems, and it's not just him, this was something that he kind of helped me realize, is that I am, as a result of my work, hostile towards people. Like, I'm defensive. It's not hostile, but defensive. And he said, go out and get a massage. And I was like, what? I thought that was just kind of a facetious thing. He's like, no, but you're letting your guard down a huge amount by going and doing this. Plus, it's super fucking relaxing. So go do this. And it's one of the things that has helped me be better. And I started actively like taking control of my health in a lot of ways, not just by going out and doing therapy. I read that book that I mentioned before, and one of the things that it mentions in there is that you have to take control of your physical health. That's one of the big ways that you can break the rubber band effect of this roller coaster. So I've been working out, I've been lifting weights, I've been biking to work. I got a new job. It's still within that same kind of sphere, but it is much, much less stressful. It's been a lot better. I've been working a little overtime. I've been taking control of my finances, which is, again, another thing that the book says that people who survive this career, they basically, the idea is that you don't let yourself be a victim. You stop with this mentality of, oh man, this job is so tough, and everybody's so mean, and everybody, like, my boss is so hard on me for no reason, and the public is so fucking annoying or whatever, and you're basically giving them control over how you feel and how you survive in this line of work. And it's all about saying, no, I'm not gonna really, I mean, there's gonna be days when it's gonna be hard for you to say, I'm gonna take control, but because some things are completely out of your control. But by and large, it's all about that. Not just professionally, but personally. Like, you have to have control over your time and your money and your health, most intrinsically maybe. So that's what I've been doing. I've been working a lot on self-improvement, just to sum it up, I guess, to say that what I've been doing over the past months, that's what I've been doing, is I've been making myself better. And it's been largely successful. I'm not going to say that I don't have bad days or bad weeks even. I don't think I've had a bad month, but, there's setbacks that you have. And part of that process that I've been going through is forgiving myself and saying, well, shit, you had a bad day. Try again tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it is such a... it's a facetious mantra, kind of, but it really is something that I've kind of ironically embraced. I don't know. It's something that gets said a lot at work, and it's something that I kind of am appreciating at a deeper level, I guess. But Hakuna Matata. Anyways, so that's where I've been. That's what I've been up to. If I don't mean for it to be instructive in any way. I know that there's an urge online in this age we live in to make everybody's experience into some kind of commodity or something, and that's not my intent here. I don't mean for you to consume this and to think that this is something that you can or should use. But if it's useful to you, then great. I personally, when I was really depressed, I hated this shit. I hated hearing people talk about their illness or their feelings, just because I was like, I got enough problems as it is. I don't really want to onboard this shit. And inspiration is sometimes kind of annoying. I don't know how else to put it. Like, I find a lot of feel-good stuff to be kind of superficial. But it's like I said on my Discord, the hardest thing for me about this whole process was sending that initial email to get that therapy session booked. And after that, everything's been better. And I won't say that there's anything specific to that, but like, if you take that first step, that's by far the hardest thing. Fucking go do it. That's my little encouragement, my little, my advocacy that I'm gonna put out there for this fucking stupid World Wide Web that we live in. Take care of yourself. That's what I'm gonna say is my summation of my experience, and take bold steps to do it. It may be really, really fucking hard, but it's worth it. So, that's 15 minutes in, and that's been a lot of talk about myself. I want to talk about, I guess it's part of that addresses why I haven't been making videos. I stopped playing video games. I straight up stopped. I was too depressed to find enjoyment in it. And it was really kind of baffling. Like, how could that be? But the whole concept of this roller coaster really drove it home. It's like, your body can't do it. Like, it can't. It's something where that level of engagement is beyond your means. Again, playing video games, it's baffling to me that that's how your dumb body decides to deal with being depressed, is by actively making you more depressed. But anyways, it's true. And I stopped gaming. I was playing a little bit of like casual mobile games, which, by the way, fuck you if you don't think that that's worthwhile, because that's kind of what was getting me through in a lot of ways. Like, I was having this is one of my only outlets for entertainment, was playing these, silly mobile games. I wasn't like playing, whatever the fuck, the one with Schwarzenegger in it or anything like that. Mobile Story, is that even a thing anymore? I don't know. But I was playing things like Hue and Polytopia and things like that. Those were really great. But it was hard for me to just do much of it. I'm still actually working on doing things that I enjoy, like reading and writing. Like, those are, it's kind of a big ask still, and it sounds so stupid to say that, but I'm working towards getting into these things that made me happy. And I'm getting there. Like, I feel like I'm really making a lot of positive steps towards doing that. I've been gaming a little bit. I've been playing a little bit of EU4. I've been playing, what else am I? I've been playing, like, one of the first things I started, the first real step I feel like I took, sounds so fucking dumb. Again, this is video games. It's like, why is this such a thermometer for my wellness? I don't know. But, like, I played through Mario 1. I just sat down and said, all right, just do this. Just play this real quick. And, play it through all the way to World 8. Don't use any warps, because that's cheating. But play it all the way through. And I did, and it felt kind of good. I mean, it's Mario 1. It's not like whatever you think about the Mario franchise, that's, it's fine. But I played it through, and it was fine. And ever since then, I kind of realized, okay, well, you can do this. You can do this to relax a little bit. And like I said, I've been playing EU4. God, what was I playing? Oh, well, I've been played a little bit of World of Warcraft. I know that that's probably frightening for some people to hear. I'm actually kind of excited for Classic to launch, which is actually happening tomorrow. I went ahead and reserved a name, and too fucking bad if that's not not good news to you. It's good news for me, because, like I said, it's been really hard for me to get excited about really anything. But feeling good about gaming is definitely a positive step for me. And there's other stuff I need to do. I have other things I want to feel excited about again. It's such a weird feeling. Like, it's weird to feel like I want to be excited about this at a conscious level, but I don't have the actual give a shit to do it deep down, and I don't know what. That's such a weird thing. You'd think that if you have that top level want, that it should kind of subsume and be like, yeah, okay, let's go do this. But instead it's like, I don't really know. But I feel like I do want to do it, and I feel like I do want to get back to streaming and recording videos. I don't know how that's going to work exactly, but it's something I do want to do. And I've actually taken some steps to kind of reinvigorate my Twitch presence. I feel a little bit less positive about YouTube, just because I think the platform is bad anymore. I don't like it so much, at least for creating video game content of any kind. There's just a lot of problems with the way that YouTube runs itself, and with the community not pointing fingers at anybody who watches my stuff. I just don't feel like my prospects for growth and engagement on here are real. I don't feel super positive about it. I could be completely wrong. I'm basing, again, I've been out of the game for literally, but also I've been out of the YouTube racket for a while now, and I mean it's could be that I'm making a bad judgment there, but I don't feel particularly impelled or compelled to participate in YouTube that much. Twitch, again, not to say that Twitch is perfect by any means, but I do feel a little bit better, at least as far as the format. Because for me, it's a lot easier to just sit down and stream. I think a lot of people feel that way. That's just how it is. You sit down and you stream, and it's easy. You don't have to worry about editing and things like that so much. Not so much. You may have to edit a little bit if you want to put VODs up and things like that. But I don't feel as negative, at least, about it. So I think that's where a lot of my efforts are going to go. That leaves aside the whole question of existing series. I'm still, I know Necromanceress really, really wants me to get back into Krondor, and I would like to, again, at that top level desire to, but there's just something fundamental that's like, no, don't really want to. Like, I have an obligation to her. I'm like, I should do this, and I have an obligation to you guys. I know there's people who are enjoying it. Same goes for Marathon. There's just a willpower issue that's kind of deep down that I can't figure out yet, but I'm working on it. And that's part of the trick, I guess, with Let's Playing in general, is that sometimes you got to record shit that you don't necessarily want to play right in that moment. And that's, I guess, been the issue, is that I haven't wanted to play anything, let alone stream it or record it. So it's kind of tricky to make yourself stream or record something if you have this baseline lack of desire to really play anything. So I think that I can foresee a future with where I am able to do these things again, and I'm hoping that that's soon. I can't give you guys a timeline on any of this, but I do want to start streaming again very soon. I think I'm ready to start doing it. I feel really pretty well recharged at this point. My job's been much less stressful, and the things are just good. Things are feeling really good lately. So, I don't know a timeline on any of this. I could be, who knows? I might get a wild hair and I might stream tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, I guess WoW Classic is coming out. I could stream that, but I don't think people who like my content necessarily want to see that. I actually did fire up Silent Hunter 3, so I actually enjoyed myself playing that. So we'll see. But I guess that's kind of where things stand. Another thing I want to mention is that I just generally feel like that if I do this, it really, really has to be worthwhile. It's not just something where I have to do it for enjoyment, but I feel as though online culture right now is in a really bad spot. And I think that creators have a responsibility, and I hate throwing that term around, but I think online personas, even though I'm not like a big deal or anything like that, are responsible for the communities that they create around their content. And I just want to thank you guys for, by and large, being pretty good people. And I hope that you guys continue doing that. I want to create a community around the shit that I make that is just good. People, aren't shitheads to each other by and large. Again, there's nothing wrong with a few jokes here and there, few little ribs every now and then. But I feel pretty grateful for the experiences I've had with most people. But one thing I will say is that in the time that I've been off of YouTube, the comments that I've been getting have been a little bit weird. And that's, I think, part of why I've kind of wanted to distance myself from that. But I also feel like we're doing... I'm interested in continuing a positive presence on whatever platform I use. And to that end, I want to make it so that I focus on doing a lot more charity work. I actually have set up my Twitch channel so that it has integration with, what's it called? Just Giving. So the campaign that I'm working on or will be working on is through just giving to support the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, just because my work in law enforcement has made me really care a lot about that area of concern. I feel like just on a basic level that is the most crucial point where we as a society can intervene and say this is a place where we can keep someone from becoming dysfunctional or keep them safe at a basic level also, but it's the most crucial point where I think people need that care as young people. I think that we need to protect our kids, I guess. I don't know what else to say, but that's one of the campaigns I want to do, and I have other ones that I have in mind that I was thinking about rotating through different charitable organizations as I stream. So if you have suggestions or ideas for that, let me know. But I think that that speaks to my feelings about online culture, is that we do a lot of this shit for yucks and for, kind of selfish, dumb reasons. I don't want to be like that, and that's part of why I haven't gone back to this, is that I'm not in a place where I'm able to, share and be a person that has can exert or exhibit that level of compassion that I think is necessary to be a reasonable participant in this dumb online society. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I hope that you kind of get where I'm going with that. Hope that you guys have been doing well yourselves. I know it's been a really long time since we've had any kind of interaction on here or on Twitch or what have you, but I'm hopeful. I hope that you're hopeful too, and I will be, watch this space, because I'll be letting you guys know when I go online, and hopefully it's gonna be doing something fun. It better be, or else there's gonna be consequences. And feel free to check in the comments. Tell me how you're doing. It's been several months, so I hope that answers a lot of your questions. I'm getting better. Don't worry about me. I'm doing really well. I've been markedly better than I have been over the past several years, to be frank with you. I feel so much better, and it's something where I'm hoping that I can get back to doing the things I love while my neighbor, I guess, is playing me off with a buzzsaw. So I'll see you guys later. We'll hopefully be streaming together real soon. Take care. It's my new theme song, apparently.